If you like to bring more than one watch when you go traveling, since after all, how could you possibly just bring the one on your wrist like a normal person, then you run into the issue of how do I ensure my babies are safe and sound all the way to my destination. The old backpacker in me would immediately think of a sophisticated combination of socks and undies, perhaps even some bubble wrap, to store the second or third one safely. But it's not really a great way to transport them, to be honest. So isn't it surprising to hear that in addition to spending money on watches and straps, researching watch rolls is a whole new world, one that wants to extract even more money from our long-suffering bank accounts. If this is you, then do take advantage of my research in this short video. Watch rolls are annoying. That's really the gist of how I feel about them. But it's more to do with the irritating clip-in solution that most of them use. I know this is a silly thing to complain about, but the clip-in cushions are surprisingly frustrating to use. Take for instance having to remove the middle cushion. This means that the entire contraption more or less collapses and you have to replace it again to ensure structural rigidity. This is all whilst using combinations of high quality leather and luscious interior that costs you in the hundreds of dollars. But what is the point of all that if it's not user friendly and induces 4-letter words every time you use one? I was chatting about this with a friend that also happens to be the brains behind the Aussie brand Strapify. Not only did he agree with me, but also suggested he lend me his latest rolls since they address this issue. Well, colour me skeptic, I said, since again, I hate these things. But he loaned me a couple and to my surprise, I liked them. I have on loan a blue and green version with Saffiano leather exterior, which is a crosshatch pattern pressed into the wax that coats the leather. The blue is my favourite, so I'll concentrate on that one. Opening the lid reveals subtle Strapify branding, which is a nice touch. Most other brands would print the logo all over, but there's no shouting here. I like this. The interior of this blue version has forest green velvet M-shaped cushions. These are quite practical since you simply squeeze them to fit your watch strap. But they have a party trick, as I alluded to. Now let's be clear here. Strapify did not invent these rail-like cushions, but nevertheless, after receiving them and researching other options, they are some of the best value offerings on the market. The rail system is quite simply the best possible solution in my opinion. Sliding one out still ensures the rigidity of the case, and you could feasibly leave out any of them and still have a stable case. It also takes you approximately 5 seconds to remove or reattach. I really like this system a lot. So in the interest of an unbiased review here, let's check out these cushions in particular. They are likely to be the earliest point of failure after all. Squeezing and prodding the cushion, it appears to be able to take a bit of punishment, and the rail sides are solid enough without being particularly hard or rigid. Turning it over, we can see a seam that again seems solid enough to not come undone. Sure, these will probably not last a decade, but would be pretty easy to replace should you ever need to. I wouldn't be particularly worried about the longevity as long as you take reasonable care of them. In regards to the actual case, that is super tough, as is the clip-in buttons to close the lid. This will last for a long time, so absolutely no concerns there. So I'm sure like me, you've looked at many options when it comes to transporting or even storing your watches at home. I genuinely think that unless you store your watches in a winder or display case, these Jefferson watch rolls are excellent value. They'll let you grab one and toss in your bag and not worry whatsoever about the watch being damaged. I'm genuinely considering a purchase, and that would be unthinkable even just a month ago for me. I'm coming around to the idea of a watch roll, but it better have rails, that's all I'm saying. I'll put a link to the watch roll below, and feel free to reach out to the team to mention you heard about it from this review, and I'm sure you'll be well looked after. To be honest, you will be even if you don't mention it. I've ordered tons of things from Strapify over the years, and the service is always top notch. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.